The banishment of Jews from England, 1290, King Edward I. Of no less grievance did this king save the nation by the banishment of the Jews, for which the Parliament willingly granted him a 15th. The Jews came into England with William the Conqueror and were settled in certain streets by themselves in London, of which Old Fury was the chief. They had a judge appointed over them, to decide all controversies between themselves, or with the Christians, and had an high priest, who was confirmed in his office by the king, and synagogues allowed them. They were always hated by the people for their extortions and usury, and rather tolerated than loved by the kings, because they now and then fleeced them. But now they were grown intolerable to the nation, by their witchcraft, poisoning, clipping of money, counterfeiting of hands and seals, crucifying of children privately, and usury. So that nothing would satisfy the people, but the utter extirpation of them out of the kingdom, to which Edward did not very unwillingly yield, because they were allowed to carry nothing away with them, but some small matter to bear their charges, and so left some a vast treasure. They went most of them into Italy and Germany. The nation indeed had before offered him, in the 9th year of his reign, a 5th part of all their goods to have them expelled, but then the Jews gave more, and so stayed till this time, which brought him a greater benefit by confiscating all their estates, with their tallies and obligations, which amounted to an infinite treasure, which, though it was the last advantage the crown could hope for from them, yet he gained a more valuable treasure by it, the goodwill of his people, who, as they had granted him many supplies, were obliged by such provisions always to add him with their estates. He came to an empty treasury at Fist, and having great occasion for money, he was driven to all the shifts possible to fill it. For besides what he had given him by the Parliament and Pope in the first 3 years of his reign before mentioned, in the 7th year of his reign the old money was called in, and new coined, because it had been much defaced by the Jews, 297 persons being executed at London at one time for this crime, and this also brought in great benefit to the king. Amen.